My name is Evelyn Enakimio A.K.A. Grandma of Covenant University and Grandma at large. I finished in 2018 from Covenant University at age 65. And that was my second master's, this time in counseling. My first master's was an MBA from LASU, 20 years ago, really, when I finished the first master's. Why did I go back to school? I found myself doing a lot of counseling with students of Yaba College of Technology. And it just became necessary that the mind should not be idle. It's an inspiration, a God-given inspiration, and it's something I went after because I knew I had a destiny with counseling youths. So that was the inspiration that gave me the go-ahead to go for counseling in Covenant University. Besides, I love education. I cannot stay idle. I continue to be relevant and keep my mind busy, keep my brain active, and learn new things. Life is a long life learning experience. That's what living is all about. That's how I was raised. Keep learning. And I found myself enjoying it every moment of it. It has been an experience. It's still ongoing. It's just a beginning, if you ask me. The schools, I've been to secondary schools. Before I even finished the master's, I was doing secondary schools counseling. Like one of my guests here today, Yetunde, was someone we went to counsel young girls about engineering those days. Then, it continues. Recently, we went to Solid Foundation secondary schools, both primary and secondary, and we it was a career day counseling session, and it was very interesting. So, you see yourself, it's a generative index that you are growing. The next generation, you impart on them the reasons for their lives and why they should follow their passion or something to find their mind busy doing that which they are interested in, not what anyone imposes on them. It has been interesting. That is on that score. On another score, with my students of Yaba College of Technology, it's an ongoing experience. I continue to motivate them, inspire them, and challenge them, because that's what they begin to see me as. A challenge for them to do better, because I said to them they can do much better. If I did that at 65, they have age on their side, youth on their side. Why wouldn't they do more? So that's the whole essence of ensuring it's continuous. It's just not done. Besides, I have an Eden Foundation, which is to inspire more people and hopefully get indigent students get into school. We have so many of them. In my neighborhood, there's a kid called Rohim. The parents sent him to school, to a vocational mechanic workshop without going to school. But I challenged the system and I challenged the parents. Today I can say To God be all the glory, that child is in school and still learning a trade. He's 8, now going 9. And inside that same mechanic workshop, there are so many of them who are talented, who can combine both education with their vocational skill. And that is where Nigeria needs to go. So in that area, I am engaged. The health and gym and fitness had always been there from childhood. You see, when the word of God says, teach a child the way to go, and when the child grows, he will not depart from it. My father, whose this gym is named after, my father was Thompson Omashebi Idedewo. That's his name. But his friends called him Tommy, and they just said, Tommy, Tommy, because he was a sports person, a playful person, a fun person to be around. So he had a boxing kit, and he was always boxing, gymming, and then going around, He would come to the house when my children were young, take us out, and we will jog the neighborhood up to the field and all of that. So we kept on doing that, and I'd always been doing that. At one point, I was into taekwondo. At one point, just having fun. It's a thing. Dance especially, it's a common thing. We all dance, but they don't know that it can be a more lucrative thing, that you make more meaning out of dancing and lose certain energies, some negative energies, and then make yourself happy. I need to be happy all the time. Sports and all that kept me going, makes me happy. And the youth have the energy. And I said, why not? Bring them in. Even not just youth, children, adults. My experience has been so many women have been coming. They want to dance, and they are here. They want to dance, especially the dance aspect. The gym, of course, they all know. 6 packs. They want to carry their 6 packs. Those are the guys. But women want to dance. They want to do aerobics. So I give them their venue. This place has been down. This property, to God be all the glory, has been here. So I just felt something that catches my own fancy, my own passion, is what I am doing here. And people are happy. I'm happy. Most people are happy when they are exercising. Find out. If you find out when they have gone to the gym and back, if you can check how they feel, you will see the wellness about their being when they have gone to the gym. So that is what I want to create, an impact on young people. Be happy. Be happy exercising, and at the same time you're keeping fit. That was something else. I had classmates that were, in the first place, how I got in there, we went to write an exam. When we got for the admission exam, they were young people. I was the oldest. They thought I was a lecturer at first. That's not the first time I'll be mistaken for a lecturer. When I got to Yaba Tech to start my studies, I was almost 32, and they mistook me for a lecturer. So it wasn't new when I got to Covenant University. And I went in, we wrote the exam. They were all looking at us, so I took control of the situation, and I said, hey, 6 of us wrote that exam. I said, can we just form a group? One bio from Unilag. And I said, you be the group leader. And we went, and we formed that chat group. But only 2 of us got admission into Covenant University. Her name is Rosemary Omonivie Osuma, and myself. So from that day on, we hit it off, and in no time, she'll be getting married. But you can imagine, I was in class with her, and we were taking courses together, and so many things happening together in the class. They'll call me grandma. It needs a humbling spirit. First, you must have it to be in class with young people. But I've always been in class with Yaba Tech students as lecturer. I am passionate about the classroom, either behind, sitting at the seat, or in front, staying in front as a lecturer. For me, it made no difference. We were there to learn. In no time, we all learned one thing or the other, principles, theories, assignments will come together, we'll stay behind, stay overnight in classrooms and study. They recognize in me someone they should copy, because they couldn't believe someone at my age, because I got into your covenant at 63, graduated at 65, that I could meet up with them at their pace, at their paces, and it was interesting. When I said I wanted to go back to school, and Covenant University is not cheap, and I said I would request them to help me pay part of my school fees. The first thing one of my daughters said was, is it children that pay school fees, or is parents that pay school fees? I said, well, in this case, this mother needs school fees from you for a change. And it was fun. They are not surprised that I wanted to go back to school, because I've always gone to school as they were growing up. I was always doing one course or the other. So they were not surprised to hear me say I was headed for school again. And it's just been interesting. But the day I graduated was the day that was memorable for me. They were in tears when they were taking the pictures, because we were streaming the pictures from the hall, and they were posting it online, and I know two of them were in tears. The boys were just holding themselves, being men, but they were in tears to say, that's my mother. And all their friends online were saying, you mean that's your mother graduating? You girls are in trouble if she's graduating, and then you have a lot of work to do. Of course, they know. One actually said, I've raised the ceiling. It's just to let them know my father wanted to do something like this. He couldn't do it, but I've gone I have made it possible. He wanted to be a lawyer after doing so many things on the medical line as a nurse, but he wanted to read law. He didn't do it. So whenever I wanted to do anything, I said I would do it. And that's exactly what I've done. The challenges were many. Financial challenges was ongoing. It's not cheap. And if you have children that are also struggling with their own families, added to a major challenge I had was my husband being ill, critically ill. And I was running Luth and Covenant University. That was a major challenge. It had to draw in on my spiritual. I had to call on God the Most High. And I said to God himself, because he says, I said to him, you said my desires will not be cut short. My desire is to finish this program without anything happening to my husband. And God heard those prayers. My husband had to be flown abroad. He had to go for medicals and everything. That was a major challenge. It was debilitating. It was painful. It could be destructive. But God gave me the sense, the mind to finish that program, because he gave me his presence. With him, all things were possible, and he made it possible. That was a major challenge. You see, when there is the will, there's always a way. I didn't have all the money to go to Covenant University. Friends rallied around me. I pitched in my own. My children pitched in. My brothers, my siblings. You understand? Because I didn't have pension. I did not have pension. I was self-employed. I ran a restaurant growing up, and it's the restaurant funds that made it possible for me to own this property that we are having this gym now. So I do not have a pension per se, but there's a will to get back to school. Once there's a will, there will be a way. That's all I will say to the people. They should look around them. There are people who will be ready to fund them, and they will put their mind on it, and it will work out. They should not give up. I never give up on anything. I'm a die-hard optimist. And with that, I pursue my dreams. I pursue anything I want. And I doggedly go after it. It's the same thing I would say to anyone who desires something. Go after it. The sky is always the limit. It's not even a limit. It's a beginning. You just have to, the thing comes from your inside. Do you have inside of you? Then go for it. Don't give up. That's all I will say to the older people, or anyone at all, both young and old, that desires an education and you want to go after it. Look around you. Ask. Humble yourself. Seek. And you will find. First of all, put God into it. God makes it all possible. Without God, without your praying time, which I call sacrosanct time, nothing happens. You pray to God and He will answer you. He's a God that answers prayers. Education is not the only thing that will make you successful, but it will give you a broadened knowledge. That's what education will do. There are successful artisans. I know of masons who have built their own houses, who are doing well. I know they have not gone to universities, and they are doing well. But you see, education broadens your horizon, gives you ability to see more and to know more and express more. That's what education does. So that's a different arena. But skill is what is to be honed. Vocational skill is the key to growing entrepreneurs. When that is done, the educational aspect of it begins to be filled up, and it goes on. I started out being a caterer overseas, and my catering was New York Institute of Dietetics. From there, I grew, but I ran a restaurant successfully. Adam and Eve restaurant was very successful. It was there that I was now using to fund myself into education. So education came later, and I'm not just following my dreams. The first thing is to have work, source of income. That is what will give you success. Education will come later. The Adam and Eve is no longer running. It was a restaurant. I had closed that. Then I wanted recreational center. Then I bought this property. The catering is no longer, because I do not have the energy or the youth to follow up on that passion. But I'm still interested in catering. You understand? To ensure others who are interested. And in skill acquisition as a whole, I'm interested in that. Impacting in others to do. But my main business now is this one that I'm opening today. The Recreation Wellness Center. Then in due season, I will hone my counseling career and business, or you understand, counseling in schools, HR in organizations, to talk about retirement plans. That's all in the future. So, but right now, this is the one I'm starting since my degree of counseling. For the young ones, first, they must always find something good to do with their hands. They must, in each and every one of us is a skill that needs to be developed. God created each child with, not, if you check, some have 2, 3, 4 skills that they can develop. They should look at those skills, develop them, hone them, then get into school and all that. With the school, it's to enlarge them. So I will say to the young people, develop your passion, get into school, and the rest, things will follow up, because that is the ultimate. This is my wish for young people. Nigeria is a great country, and we will do great. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Maximum.